I made $125,000 in 3 weeks. That's almost all pure profit. And I didn't do it with a course, an info product. I didn't do it with freelance brand scaling or AI automation, whatever everyone's talking about these days. I made that money by using the one thing that pretty much everybody has, but no one really knows how to use. Now, what is that? A personal brand. Most people barely post on their personal brand. And if they do, it's like a fucking picture of a fishing trip. But you need to realize your personal brand can either work for you or against you. And the sad reality for 99% of you guys is it's working against you. Whereas for me, my personal brand has allowed me to make $125,000 in 3 weeks. And this is going to keep happening. If anything, it's only going to grow. So let me explain exactly how I did it and how you can too. Now, for those who don't know me, I've spent the past 3 years building a business with my co-founder and essentially documenting the entire process, showcasing the behind the scenes of how I've built a 7-figure activewear brand called Haas. To date, I've posted over 10,000 videos on social media. I've probably made an additional 10,000 and those have just gone to my drafts or been deleted. I also have a podcast. I've posted, 55, 60 podcasts, all of them in person. I've literally traveled across the country to do them. But here's the crazy part. I posted 743 videos before the first one popped off. I remember seeing that Gary Vee clip where he said, "I promise you guys, if you post 100 times, one of them will go viral." So I thought to myself, well, I've been grinding for a bit, right? Let me go count how many I've done. And at the time, I had done over 700 videos. So the first thing I thought was what the fuck? When's my lucky break? I figured, fuck it. Okay, we're just gonna keep going. And then 2 weeks later, my first ever video popped off. I posted multiple videos every day over the course of 6 months before I had even a glimpse of hope. So let's get into how you can bypass that shitty experience, because let's be honest, it was shitty, and skip right to the results part. Most people think a personal brand is about followers, likes, views, but that couldn't be further from the truth. A personal brand is about becoming the go-to person in any specific niche. Think like Iman Gadzhi for agencies, or Grant Cardone for real estate, or Alex Hormozi for sales. Once you own a niche in people's minds, you own that real estate, the possibilities become endless. And just like that, once I started posting about my own journey, documenting my own experience, even before I was somewhat successful whatsoever, I started having people reach out to me. Real successful people, multi-7, 8, even 9-figure entrepreneurs. Some of you guys may know my mentor is the founder of the fastest growing e-commerce brand in human history. I met him through social media. Why? Because I wasn't posting the normal shit. Okay, these days there's so much porn out there, fast cars, watches, crazy penthouses. People are always posting about the lifestyle, the sick part of being an entrepreneur. But the truth is 99% of the time, it's just a lot of work and a lot of losing. And so that's what I posted. I posted that side of the story, my own shitty experiences, right? Losing money, taking out loans, firing people, the hard parts of running a business. And sometimes I would just post other shit that I was interested in, what I was spending my time on. Big bro advice, confidence advice, leadership advice. Talking to girls. I just posted whatever I found interesting. I wasn't worrying about going viral. I wasn't worrying about what other people were gonna think. I was just posting the stuff that I wish I could have seen yesterday. I was sending messages back to former Lucas. That's how I looked at social media. And in the process, I was also building insane amounts of confidence, because every bit of trauma I had, every embarrassing story, every fuck up, every failure, I just posted it. So now, how could you hurt my feelings? How could you insult me when it's already out there? That is how I built my personal brand, and this is what it can do for you. When you have a personal brand, it'll create opportunities for you out of thin air. It's like having a sales team that's always cold calling 24/7. Every single video you post is an opportunity to reach the right people. And here's what people get embarrassingly wrong. It's not about views. It's not about followers. It is much better to hit 100 of the right people with your content than 1,000,000 of the wrong ones, because the wrong ones don't do anything for you. I know small creators with 10, 20,000 followers that are making 6 figures a month from their personal brand directly. I had a dude with 1.6 million reach out to me the other day because he's broke. He's how do I monetize my audience? How do I make money with this? See, a lot of people, when they start a personal brand, they just start posting videos, right? They don't have a process or a direction in mind for where they want to go with it. Before you start your personal brand, you need to identify what your goal is. Where are you going with this? Who do you want to sell to? What do you want to sell? Unless you just want to post for fun, then do whatever the fuck you want. Because if your goal is just to get followers, you'll pretty much be wasting your time when it comes to the whole money thing, because you'll be chasing brand deals, you'll be chasing promotions. So enough with all that. How exactly did I use my personal brand to make $125,000 in 3 weeks? It all started with what you could call an observation. I noticed that the cost of entrepreneurship was essentially isolation, loneliness. I saw how 90% of entrepreneurs were building in silence, maybe even more. They were so focused on just their work that they had completely neglected every other area of their life, and because of that, they didn't have any sort of network. And for a lot of people, that's exactly why they ended up failing. On the contrary, though, I looked around at my mentors, the guys that were the most successful that I knew, and they all had one thing in common. They seemed to all know each other. Now, these guys were older, 30s, 40s, like they had built those relationships over a decade or more. But I thought to myself, like, what if we could do that right now? Going from 1 to 100 isn't just about working hard. It's about being around the right people, being in the right rooms, because the right person in the right room could literally change your life and your business overnight. So that's why I created Outliers, which is essentially a private curated group of young, successful guys. And that's exactly how I made $125,000 in 3 weeks, almost all profit. I saw a problem for entrepreneurs, isolation, and I solved it. Since I started this whole thing at the beginning of this year, so that was like 5.5 months ago, I've had over 1,000 people apply, and I've only accepted a little over 50 people. I let in about 25 people every 3 months, so every quarter. Not a dime spent on ads, just a personal brand. The way it works is you go to our website, joinoutliers.com. If you're a 7-figure entrepreneur or some sort of outlier in your field, like we have a pro artist and a pro athlete, you apply to the group. Some of the group members look through your application, and if they find it interesting, if they think you might be a good fit, they do an interview with you. If they like you, they pass it off to me. I do a final interview. I interview every single person that joins the group. And if it seems like that person would be a good fit for the group and they think it would be a good fit for them, they pay me $5,000 to join. And I'm gonna raise that to $6,500 or $7,500 next time. Now you might hear that and think, wait, he just made $5K from a 30, 45-minute call? And the answer technically is yes, but it's actually no. I didn't make that $5,000 entry fee from a 30-minute call. I made that $5,000 that they paid to join the group from the 10,000 videos that I posted over the last 3 years. You see, the right customer is willing to pay that because they trust me, because they've seen my content, they've seen who I am, they like what they see, and they want to join the group. You might think, that's crazy. I would never spend $5,000 to join a group. And to be honest, it might not be for you. But the reason this whole thing worked is because I was perfectly positioned as the right person for this in my niche. I had built up that trust and credibility over the last 3 years. And I built something that creates value for the right people. Like I said, I only let in 25 guys a quarter. That's 100 people a year. I only need to get 100 of the right views on my videos, not tens of thousands, not millions, not tens of millions. I only need 100 of the right views across all of my videos for the entire year to make that business work. So now you're probably thinking, well, that's great, Lucas, but like, how do I get started? Because I'm starting from zero. It's not about the right gear, the right camera equipment. It's not even about the right script. The single best way to start a personal brand is by being an expert in something, right? What are you an expert on? Document that process. Maybe you're a great sales guy. Maybe you're really good at operations. Maybe you're really good at raising money for companies. But even if you're not an expert on something, it's not the end of the world. I wasn't. Just document your own story. Document your process. Document your growth. People connect with the process even more than they connect with the result. People love watching someone grow. And the best part about recording your journey is you're gonna have a lot of people shit talking you on social media. That's just how it goes. But that engagement, even though it's hate, even though it's negative, is good for the algorithm. But you cannot build a cult-like following. You can't build a personal brand without, number one, a story, and number two, and this is just as important, enemies. You need to have the people that don't believe in you. For example, all of my best videos, both in terms of like total views and in terms of reaching the right audience, were all videos of me talking about the shitty parts of business. I made a video sitting in my car about how I had to take out a PayPal loan to save my business. The loan had terrible interest. The video blew up on my TikTok. Then it blew up again on my Instagram feed. And the comments were a perfect storm of positive and negative feedback. Half the people in the comments said, bro's fucking cooked. Half the people in the comments said, I love that you shared this. This is what it's all about. Because people connect with struggle more than they connect with success, you need to make yourself relatable. Even if you do have the success already, how can you make people feel like they know you Alex Earl has one of the strongest personal brands of all time, not just because she's hot as fuck, but because her followers feel like they know her. She makes videos talking about her insecurities, talking about her acne, talking about her boob job. That is the type of stuff, like even though she's very attractive and she's famous and she has this awesome lifestyle, that is the stuff that makes people trust her. That is the stuff that makes people resonate with her and her story. If you have a story to tell, whether it's already happened or it's currently happening now, you need to be posting it. A personal brand is literally the biggest asset any person could have in today's day and age. It's something that nobody can take away from you, and it buys something that money can't: trust, credibility, and authenticity. Remember, your personal brand isn't about you becoming famous. It's about you becoming known for something that's different than everybody else. It's about positioning yourself as the go-to solution for some specific problem. For some people, that might be something in business, how they can make more money, how they can grow their business. For others, it might just be entertainment or something that's relatable. But you need to consistently deliver value to the people that watch your content. And by doing that, you'll build that personal brand that you can use for anything. So if you're currently in the process of building right now, get out there, start posting, talk about your story. And if you already do have a story, if you're an entrepreneur or a creative and you've already built something, if you already have something to talk about, I might have something for you. I want to create case studies of people I've helped create successful personal brands. So I'm taking on 15 people to work with me on a one-on-one basis to help scale theirs. Mind you, once again, this is only for people who have something to talk about already, people who already have success and they just want help and guidance. And this also is going to cost money. Like, I'm going to charge for this. But if that sounds interesting to you and you want to be a part of those 15 people, I'm going to leave an application to apply below. But with that, I'll see you guys in the next video.